Hello, wealthy women. Oh, I have a good one today. So, you are going to love this success story. It is just such an inspiration. When you just find your path and you're meant to be on it so that you can serve and help others. Well, just get ready for this great, beautiful woman to share her success story with you. I'm going to pass it over now. She can tell you all about it. I would like to introduce Lainnie. So, Lainnie, take it away and let us know the name of your business, all that you do, and where can people find you.
Hi, good morning, good evening, wherever you are. I'm Lainne Love, and I'm an award-winning spiritual psychology coach, which is fun. And I'm a best-selling author. I have two books, How to Use Hypnosis to Master Your Brain and A Bigger Mission, which I was fortunate enough to co-create with 11 other amazing professionals, and we're really, really proud of what it is that we created collectively. It was quite a journey. And what I do is I work with people, essentially, like, to simplify it, is we all feel like we're meant for more. At least most of us do. I know I did. And the people that I work with do. You feel like you're meant for more, like there's gotta be more than this. And how do I know what that is? How do I figure it out? And if I do know what it is, how do I get from where I am right now to where I want to be? And so that was definitely my biggest frustration, was that feeling. I felt like I was being eaten up by that. There has to be more. This can't be it. And that was part of what was the catalyst for setting me on my path. Also coming from the background that I came from, which was a lot of chaos. I had a single mama who was a teenager who had four kids by her mid 20s. And so, obviously, well, or maybe not obviously, but she did not have the skills or tools to be able to raise us in a trauma free or a stable environment. And so, a lot of my life, I was also searching for healing and for love. And that was what set me on my path. And what kept me on my path was that feeling of I was meant for more, and there has to be more than this. And how do I break free? So that I love helping people with that. So often I get a lot of professionals coming to me, entrepreneurs, business owners, people that are looking to shake up their industry or innovate, because they have that feeling that there's more, and that they're here to contribute something really big, their bigger mission, and leave their legacy of love. And when I say really big, it doesn't always have to be like that you've created this huge company like Apple, or like Elon Musk has created all these big companies. Sure, those are big things, but there's also the smaller businesses that are making big change and significant impact. And there's also every person that works within that business or that company that contributes to making it a success, all the way from the CEO to the cleaner. Every single person is very, very important and matters, and they are a part of making that business work. And so I really love focusing on and celebrating that you are really important, and you're here with your bigger mission, whatever that is specifically for you, as we are all amazing, unique, one of a kind wonders, and there never will be and never has been another you in the history of the entire universe, which is crazy awesome when you think about it, right? Wow. In the history of eternity, there will never be another you. So think about how important you are and how you are here for a reason. And that's a beautiful thing. I love remembering that. I love talking about that and thinking about that and celebrating that with each and every person that I can. And so the tools that I use to help you to get to where it is that you want to be are a wide variety of tools that I have collected along my journey, because I was trying to figure out what was going to work for me. And what I discovered was that there are a lot of amazing tools out there, and they all work. So that's the good news. So whatever it is that you're doing right now, congratulations, you're doing good work. And whatever it is, it's working. And there's a nuance to that in that, in a toolbox, every tool in there works, right? The hammer works, the screwdriver works, pliers work, but a set of pliers isn't going to work when you need a hammer. It's not going to really be as effective. So it's the same with healing tools. It's that nuance of learning to know what tool is going to work for you at what particular point in your life. So that is something that I have really, really played with a lot, and I feel like I have a good mastery over. And if you're looking at a place to start, or you have been doing some work and you feel like, okay, it's time for me to pivot, a great place to begin, or one of the most powerful places for change, is in reworking your subconscious programming, because you have all of your ancestral programming in there, you have collective programming, and you have the programming that you received in this life. And when I say programming, that means the beliefs. It means the container that you hold yourself in. I'm from this part of the world, from this culture, and this is what we believe is possible for us. This is what we accept as acceptable. This is what I can do. This is what I can't do. This is what's easy. This is what's hard. All of those inner conversations, that's your programming, and you can shift it. You can shift it, which is why, this person over here can believe this, and you can believe this. You can have different beliefs because you just have different programming. So you can examine your programming and figure out what it is that you would like to replace that with, so that you can have the things that you want, achieve the goals that you want, a lot easier and faster, and and that is what I'm really, really grateful to have found, because I found myself in so much frustration, because I kept running myself into walls, not realizing that that was my programming. My programming was to sabotage myself at every and any turn, because I wasn't enough. I wasn't enough to have that. That wasn't for me. And so if you find yourself in that place, I really highly suggest switching or starting with that programming. Also, what it can also look like is you do achieve the things that you wanted, and then you lose them. You keep losing them. You keep getting to your goal, and then you lose it somehow. That's the same set of programming. It just is looking a little bit different. So I love doing that, and I love working with energy too, because energy is really tied into that. So your different energetic bodies and your frequency also aligns with whatever your subconscious programming is. So when you can work with those tools, those two powerful tools, you can expedite the change that you're looking to have in your life.
Wow. I mean, it just hearing you and knowing that for every person that sees this or listens to this, it resonates, because we all have that soulfulness in us that wants to just come out and be our best selves. And everything that you just said basically covers all people all over the world at any stage of life, at any age. It is just, amazing. And I just wanted to ask you, just so we don't forget, can you share the name of your website so that people can go ahead and find out more about you?
Yeah, I'm so blessed that my website is my name, Lainnie, Lainne, Lainnie.com. And you can find me on social media at Lainne Love, which is my name, the name that I use in my business, Lainne Love. So it's super, super easy to find me.
I love everything that you just spoke about, especially about energy and the subconscious. It's funny because I'm actually reading two books right now, and it's all
Awesome.
about, yeah, and it really makes sense, because you're so correct about how, we just have these beliefs. We don't always know where they come from. And we don't even sometimes realize we have them, because they're so automatic in us, because they're so, they've been a part of who we are. So we sometimes don't even know to challenge them, as if maybe
Yeah.
there's something better, right? And so, I wanted to ask you, for someone who is, feeling this sense that there's got to be something more, there's something more. What would you suggest if they had to do this on their own? What would you suggest might be a good place for them to start to uncover maybe some of the limiting beliefs that they have that they actually might not even realize that they have? Because that can happen. I had a limiting belief around money, and I had no clue that I had this belief until I was lucky enough to have a coach in, it felt like 10 seconds or less. She just called me out, and it was a wow moment. It was a breakthrough moment for me. But sometimes, of course, there are moments in life where people might not have the opportunity to have a coach guide them or be objective. So how can someone go on their own in the woods on a camping trip, so to speak, and find their higher calling with their own self as their
Yeah.
tool?
So absolutely you can do that. And that's my job. My job is to get you to the place where you don't need me, because you do have the skills, talents, and abilities to be able to do these things for yourself. How great is that? You're so powerful. You can do anything. It's just remembering how to do it. And so a great place to start is where I take my clients through is noticing and naming. Is most of us are in the practice of not even knowing how we feel, and definitely not knowing what our blocks are. I didn't. I had no idea what half of my programming was, and which is why it took me longer to figure it out, because I didn't know what I didn't know, which is
Mhm.
what a lot of us feel. How can I know that? I didn't know it. So how can I know it? So how you can start to know it is by noticing and naming. So notice, what's the wall you keep running into over and over again. And maybe it's, maybe it's in love, and maybe it's in finances. Maybe it seems like it's in different areas of your life, but it's actually the same wall. It's just presenting in areas that you would think that might not be related, but everything is related. So look at your life, and what are the walls you keep running into, or with the ceiling. Maybe you feel like, I'm doing well, but I can't get past this ceiling. Like, I feel really happy, but I want more. I want to expand. That's your ceiling. So what is that? Notice it. And then notice how that feels in your body. Okay, when I notice my wall or my ceiling, how does it feel in my body? Okay, well, I notice like some pain in my stomach, discomfort. My stomach feels like it's in knots. Okay, great. Sink a little deeper into that. Okay, well, if there was an emotion associated with the stomach knots, what would that be? Okay, fear. Okay, fear. So sit with it. Just sit with. So you've noticed how you're feeling. You've noticed your ceiling. You've noticed where it is in your body, and now you're naming it. You're giving it the name fear. Great. So sit with that. It's
I want,
really
yeah.
the steps are really simple. It's just the work isn't that simple, or doesn't feel simple, because it's uncomfortable. So we want to avoid it. But the steps, thank goodness, are actually pretty simple. So, and then you sit with that emotion. And why do you sit with that emotion? Because emotions are just feedback. 10 people could be in the room and have a different emotional response to the same thing, because they're getting different feedback for their particular unique selves, skill set, talents, abilities, you know. Oh,
Okay. I think you're,
yeah, I'm like, where did you go?
uh-huh. Oh, I'm still here.
A
Can you see
window
me?
pop up. Yeah,
Uh,
we had a technical
but we're
difficulty.
we're just gonna roll with it because that's what
Yeah,
we
that's
do as
life.
empowered women.
Yeah, that is life. Or children been in the room. That happens to me all the time. Or cats, or knocking things
Yep.
over. But
But
Anyways,
I love what you're saying. Just it's kind of interesting. Maybe that was a sign that we speak on this, because this idea of sitting with the uncomfortable
yeah,
is so, that's it. That, I mean, nobody really wants to do it. Of course but it's so necessary, because you'll kind of go through it and you'll come out the other side understanding yourself so much better, not only what you don't want anymore, but what you get a clearer picture of what it is that you're supposed to be focused on and the feelings that you want to feel. And I love that you said that, because I did a course once on get comfortable with the uncomfortable.
yeah,
And yeah, it's key, right? It's key. So
it's
go ahead
so
and
key.
share
Thank
a
you.
little bit more about what they can do on their own to kind of get a little bit of clarity.
Yeah, so feel it. And when you feel it, when you feel that fear that's stuck in your stomach or whatever it is for you, wherever it is in your body, um, you will notice definitely the discomfort. You're going to try to push it away, but just let it wash over you. You're a human being. You were
Mhm.
designed to feel feelings. You're going to be okay. It's going to feel uncomfortable because that's what you keep practicing, feeling discomfort when you feel your feelings, but you're going to be okay. So just
Now,
feel it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
When someone gets to the other side of the feeling, they go through it and
Yeah.
they allow for all that. And then we're talking about energy and maybe where they want to go. Can you talk a little bit about how then to combine energy and feelings to get forward in a better way in their life, no matter what they're focused on?
Well, they're one and the same. And that's
Yeah.
the beautiful thing. So when you let go, when you allow yourself to feel the feeling, it releases from your body. And actually, that has been an energetic blockage within you. So we've stuffed ourselves with all of these unfelt, unexpressed emotions, and that creates energetic stagnation within our field and within our bodies. So when you allow yourself to then sit with that feeling, so notice a name, sit with the feeling, feel it, you feel a release, and then all of a sudden you feel, oh, relief, better. Like when you feel like you need to cry and then you cry, and then afterwards you feel so much lighter, like that sense of release.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. That's how emotions are meant to be experienced. We're supposed to feel them and let them go. So when you allow yourself to feel the feeling, you're going to create that lightness and you're going to start to release the stagnant energy that is making, compiling, constructing that feeling, those feelings of blockage, the walls that you're running into, the ceilings that you're hitting. So this is a great way of actually clearing subconscious programming is clearing this energy. It's one of the ways in which you can do it. You can do it through hypnosis, which is another amazing tool that I love to use, but I really gravitate more towards this one because it just feels faster to me and easier. You don't have to remember a particular incident. If you don't want to, you just get to feel the feeling and let it go.
And then if someone is wanting to achieve something, um, is it best that they focus on the feeling of what it is to have already achieved that, so that they can familiarize their subconscious, their body, their cells with that acceptance of that feeling, to the point where it becomes so uh common to them that it's not like a stranger anymore to them. They welcome it and they know what to expect. So how do you go about the feelings, the energy,
Yeah.
when you're focused on a specific goal in particular?
Yeah, so that's great that you brought that up. So we've heard of that, right?
Yeah.
When you're trying to reach towards a specific goal, it's great to envision yourself, so visualize, and then feel the feeling. Yeah, but I can't feel the feeling. I've never felt the feeling. Or when I feel the feeling, it feels really uncomfortable. Amazing, you're doing it right.
Yeah.
That's the exact feedback. So that's the feedback that you're giving yourself that I am not in alignment with this goal. There's work that I need to do in between where I am right now and where I want to get. So great, you just do exactly the process that we just did. Okay, my goal is to have 20 new clients this month. Great, I'm envisioning it. I can see it. Okay, yeah, it feels fun, feels abundant, it feels exciting. And I can't really feel all of the feelings there because I'm starting to feel doubt. I'm starting to feel like that's not going to happen for me. I'm starting to feel like it's hard. Amazing. Those are the things. So let's look at the doubt. Where is it in your body? Sit with it. Let it go.
Mhm.
Great.
Love it.
Go to the fear. Go
It's
to the,
almost
it's
like
not going to happen for
massaging it out, right? It's
me.
like
Yeah,
if you
I
have a
love that.
knot in your back and you go to the masseuse and you're like, she's like, wow, you have a, or he is like, you have a big knot in your shoulder and you just have to massage it out and iron it out. So whenever there's discomfort, massage it out,
Yeah,
right?
I
Sit
love
with
that
it.
analogy.
Yes.
That's how I
So
started as a
yeah,
shiatsu therapist,
well,
doing shiatsu massage. So
there you go. See,
that's perfect for
it
me.
all comes down, yeah, sometimes it's those ways of kind of anchoring that we
Yeah,
can get there, and I love that. So I just think that this is so amazing. So at some point someone will go through all the feelings that don't they feel like they're an imposter, or they feel like it's for them and not me, or whatever the blocks might come up with for them, and whatever
yeah,
the scenario it is, right? But eventually, if they just sit with the discomfort and pay attention and talk about it, be honest with themselves, get it out of the system, at some point they're going to just feel so much lighter and clearer. And then that's when they can feel confident to get forward movement on their goal,
yeah.
whatever
That fear
that
or
is.
that emotion, whatever it is that's been stopping you, once it's released, it's not there anymore. So then, when you go to take the steps that you were trying to take before, and you always felt weighed down or blocked or hitting something, that block isn't there anymore. That weight isn't there anymore. So when you try to take those steps, they're easier to take. And so the more that you release all of
Yeah.
this stagnation, the more that you start shifting your program, then the easier each step that you take starts to become. Does that mean that you never have any problems? I don't think so. I haven't met one of
not while
those
we're
people yet.
not while we're here.
If that happens for you, can you please
we
let me
we
know?
just rename them and call them opportunities, right, instead of
Exactly.
problems.
And that's what starts to shift is how
Mm-hmm.
you meet your challenges, how you meet
Mm-hmm.
your problems. You start to get excited by them
Yeah.
because
Mm-hmm.
it's a signal that's
Yeah.
telling you, great, this is the next thing that needs to be cleared. Amazing. When I clear
Time
this,
to
and
grow
then
again.
the other steps are going to be easier, or I'm gonna be able to get to my goal because that's what's in between me and my goal. And you really are going to start to see it as a blessing, as an opportunity, as the vehicle to your next step.
It just reminded it. I don't know why I'm focused on the physical metaphors today, but that's what's happening. I love this is why I love these interviews, because you just never know what's going to come. But like the whole idea about the limits and the blocks, right, that we get in our own way, whether it's sabotage or whatever it might be. I do like that. Like massage it out, get
Yeah, me too.
uncomfortable and massage it out until there's less discomfort. You may not be 100% comfortable, but that's okay too. Just massage out the majority. But then I was just thinking about what you're saying about then you're clear to pursue your goals and you start to believe, okay, I can. And it's sort of then it's like you're in the gym building a muscle. And then
Yeah,
you think, okay, will there be any more problems in life? Yes, but that means that you've already uh, built your first muscle, and now you're ready to build it a little bit stronger. And so
yeah,
then everything becomes an opportunity for your growth, power, and strength. And it's not problems, it's opportunities to
yeah,
get to know yourself and your capabilities even more. And, it is usually through those challenges that right? That's when we have our biggest growth spurts.
hmm.
When
It
we've
always
succeeded,
is.
we're like, open the champagne and let's kick back for a minute or two. But it's usually the challenges that cause us the most growth, and we might not love those challenges, of
No,
course. Some are much bigger than others, and well, not all of them are fair challenges, but no matter what, we do have control of our energy and our feelings. That's ours, right? So
Yes.
talk about how, if someone can, I'm kind of going off the grid today. I have some questions, but I'm loving the way our conversation is flowing, because it's like, this is the meatiness of it all. But I'll get you a couple questions too. But what would you suggest to someone who, they have their updates, right? And they're good and they're on track, but then something made them go and slip down. What is a way that they can kind of anchor themselves or pull themselves back up in a quick way, like where they can change their whole attitude and get back on track?
Mhm. Well, a lot of times when we run into those kind of challenges, that's where I think that the spiritual aspect of the work that I do comes in, is like seeing the bigger picture. So I could think that this was the most amazing, best thing for me. And I'm doing all the work to get there. And I feel great and I feel on track. And then wham, that thing does not happen. And I feel really angry or sad or defeated about it. And then I have two choices. I can stay in that energy, or I can think about, okay, I thought I wanted this. And is it possible that there's something bigger and better that I didn't see that is available to me? Yeah, absolutely, that's possible. And if I look back at my road to where it is that I've gotten, so having this goal took me here. Well, how do I feel about that? Oh, I feel great. It was initially having that goal that propelled me forwards to get me, 10 steps higher. But now that I'm up here, I have changed. And maybe that's an energetic frequency, maybe that's a conscious change, but now I am reaching for something different. And maybe I wasn't aware of that. Or maybe I was actually meant for something more, and I aligned with that vision because the vision was going to propel me forward to where I needed to get so that I could take a different turn at the crossroads. So it is really important to reflect on where it is that you've come from, the goal that you have, why you have it, and is it possible that I'm being guided on my path? Is it possible that I'm meant for something different? Is it possible that it could even turn out even better than I imagined? Going back to those subconscious programs, is I loved also to take people through this exercise as you're noticing and naming or visualizing what it is that you're wanting. Is you do it 2 times. Your first one, so okay, I want to that, going back to that 20 new clients this month. Great. Okay. Well, once you get to the 20 clients, what is it that you want? Okay. Well, actually, I want to hire a team of 5 people and I want to start building out automation and I want this. Okay. That's actually what you want. But you couldn't see how you could get there from where you are now. So you built in an arbitrary step in between what it is that you really want, because you're probably telling yourself it's not realistic, or I can't have that, so I'll settle for this because it's good enough. It's good enough, but it's actually not what I really want. So that can also happen if you find yourself in that position that we're initially talking about. Okay, I've gotten here and now I fumbled. And then there's also the third possibility, in that that's life. we're gonna be on a path, and we're always gonna be meeting things. But I do 100% believe that each challenge that we meet is there for a purpose and has a meaning, and it's to propel us forward to our greatest, highest good.
I love everything that you're saying. And then I'm listening and I find myself wanting to know more. So I have a question based on something you just said. So the part where you said, okay, what do you want? 20 clients. And then the next goal was to hire a team of 5. And that's what you really actually wanted. This was just that arbitrary step that you had to put in there because you didn't yet maybe you help me, you didn't yet match that energy level needed
Yeah,
to imagine yourself having 5 employees. And so is it okay to do the stepping stone? Like you push yourself a little to match your energy where you are
yeah,
now, but you push it a little bit and then you like, okay, I did it. I can push my energy a little bit farther, similar to like building that muscle, right? Or should we focus more on, I guess this might be what they call the metaphysics, quantum leaps, so
mhm,
to speak. Should we just say, forget about the middle step, the 20 clients, just that's what's going to happen, the team of 5. So when, because I've heard
yeah.
both sides, right? And they both sound juicy, both of them. So like what do you, if someone's listening to this, what would you, well, they will be listening to this. What would you suggest as far as that it, meet your energy level and a little bit of a stretch and keep doing the stretch, or quantum leap it?
The answer is both. Like right back to all of the tools. Like, oh, the great news is all the tools work. It's where are you in alignment with that? So if you feel like, no, I can't really wrap my head around the quantum jumping, like I just don't believe it. I can't get there. I'm not in resonance. It's not working for me. You need the step, and some people don't need the step. They can just go straight to the leap. And maybe at different times in your life you can leap and then you need a step. It's okay. It's all perfect. It's just feedback. Again, everything is just feedback. This is where I am and this is where I want to go, and these are the things in the way. Again, if we just look at things as it's actually quite simple. It's simple, the steps. It's what's complicated is the bigness of who we are, because we're bringing in, there's so many different factors that come into this. Okay, well, what karma am I making up for from this life, or the all of these different lives? What is the collective energy that I'm here to transmute? What's the familial ancestral energy that I'm here to stop or transform? What am I here to do for this community? There are multi layers and aspects to what it is that you are doing as an individual. And so that's really, really cool and interesting, right? So when we're making all of these choices, all of that information is also being filtered into the choice that you're making. And so it's okay. Wherever it is that you are, you're doing really great work. And if you need a step, if you need 100 steps, that's totally perfect. That's your journey.
I love that. The whole, it's okay. And there's a tool for everything. And you are so right, because maybe there's one specific aspect of someone's life where they can quantum leap it for whatever reason, for whatever positioned them, all the things that you just described. For that one particular task, they could quantum leap it, right? But then they might come to another task that's less familiar and they don't have enough of the background to collect and research for themselves. And so they have to do the step. So I love it. The whole idea here basically comes down to get to know yourself, move past your blocks by sitting with the discomfort, get to know what you really want. And then ultimately, this is about moving forward. Just keep moving forward, keep growing, which is one of my favorite things to say, keep moving forward. And always know that sometimes, like what you're saying, like, and I honestly absolutely agree, it's not always easy though, but
No,
basically, this
not.
is happening for me, not to me.
Yeah.
This is happening for me, not to me, to find that silver lining and to also look back and give yourself credit, right? Like, sometimes we're so hard on ourselves and we forget to see how far we have grown. And that should build that confidence in yourself immediately, because if you were able to already achieve all the way that you've gotten here already, just why even doubt yourself? Because you have a whole background of accomplishments, whether they're small or big or medium, whether you made mistakes along the way, whether you had a pause where you didn't do anything great and then you came back and you were good again. It doesn't matter, right? It's like there's always that opportunity for growth, and getting
Yes,
in that proper energy alignment is everything. So
is everything. And I
excellent.
love that you brought up celebration because that's really, really important. I
Yeah.
like to give the homework of jars for my clients. Just have a jar, like whatever old spaghetti jar, spaghetti sauce jar, or whatever jar. Just rinse it out, and then at the end of the day, just take like 1 second. You could even put it by your bed with some post-it notes or some scraps of paper. Like it doesn't have to be fancy at all. Can be if you appreciate. I love different color markers and different color paper. I always have, but it doesn't
Me
have
too.
to be that. Like make it your own, and just what's what's something I'm proud of myself for today? What did I do? Could be something like a little, like yesterday I went to a sauna cold plunge. I I hate the cold. I get anxiety over going into the cold plunge. So a
You
win
and me
for
both.
me is I got in it. I don't
Mhm.
have to stay the 30 seconds, the 2 minutes, the whatever the time is, because that's not where I am in that particular challenge. My win is, was I able to get in, overcome my inner dialogue myself, and even get into the pool. I did. I did it 3 times. Amazing.
Excellent.
Um,
Yeah.
but I got in. So what is your win? What did you win at today? What did you overcome? What are you celebrating? And then like maybe you achieved a goal. Oh yeah, I got those 20 clients today. They all came in, or I baked this cake that I've tried to bake like 20 times and it's always flat. I'm celebrating that I did it. Whatever in your personal life or your professional life. So what did you win at, and what did you accomplish? And
I
then
love it.
you'll start, amassing this jar full of all of these things that you would have dismissed otherwise, because we do it every single day. And then we don't notice, wait a minute, I won at this, I accomplished this. Wow, actually, I look at all this evidence of all of these
Yeah.
amazing things that I have completed, that I have achieved, that I can celebrate. And then I like to suggest like once a week, read them over. Maybe it's once a month, and celebrate. Put on your favorite song and dance, pop a bottle of champagne and cheers yourself, or go for a nice walk, whatever it is that equals celebration for you. And the more that you get into the habit of that, then going back to frequency, vibration, and alignment, the more that you are aligning yourselves with that frequency, but also with the notion you're gaining trust in yourself. You're learning
Yes.
to love and value and honor yourself more, and trusting that, wait a minute, I do what I say I'm going to do. I do accomplish things. Wow, I can
Yes.
really trust me.
Yes. I love that. And sometimes if there's something going on where something is very big and you don't understand it and it's hard to gain that sense of confidence, this is where I personally always lean into God and spirituality, because sometimes there are things in life that do show up that are currently a little bit bigger than our own capacity, although we are God and God is us. So basically, it's still us showing up in the proper energy, or whatever your version of your soulful self is, your spiritual side. But, you know, I think, there are those moments, and then that where you are just try and find the good. There must be a good, there must be a reason this is happening for me, not to me. And so that when there are those couple moments in life, it can happen where it could be the dark night of the soul, and you have to really pull it together. Give yourself 10 minutes to cry or fret or stress or whatever, and then after that 10 minutes, just be determined to say, okay, I've had my 10 minutes of stress and fear or whatever it might be, and now I'm going to make the best of this, and find the good, and focus on the gratitude, and trust in the universe or God or spirit or yourself or your soul. So, yeah.
And if you can't do that, because I couldn't, I was really mad at God for a long time. And I didn't trust. I didn't even really know what that meant because I didn't feel like anything was actually really showing up. So how could I trust? Then use the tools. Then use the
Yes.
tools. Okay, I am feeling really angry and frustrated at God, the universe, and I don't trust that I'm actually okay. Okay, use that tool of sitting with it. Okay, where is that in my body? Let me feel this pain, this pain of heartbreak, of abandonment, whatever is underneath that, because there's something underneath that, and maybe that's a really deep wound, and maybe that's where you need to bring in some help. I know I needed to, because those I needed to be doing the work on my own, and
Yeah.
I needed to be doing the work with a couple of different practitioners myself, because those wounds were really deep. And it's okay to notice when you need help, and to
Absolutely.
get the help. I
Get
have
the help.
a coach, I have a mentor, I have a teacher, I have a therapist, I have all of these different things. I work on my spiritual self, my physical self, my mental self, my business self. And I've definitely had many periods in my life when I couldn't afford it, and yet I had to figure it out.
Yeah.
I had to figure it out because I also couldn't afford
But
not to be doing it. And
yeah,
that was the
exactly.
frustration for me, was,
Yeah.
okay, this does not seem fair. This is really frustrating. Like, I know that I need to do this, and yet how can I? I
Yeah.
don't have the resources, or I feel like I don't have the resources.
Hmm.
I feel like a lot of people have the resources, they're just not willing to either
Yeah.
shift things around or spend it on in that capacity on themselves.
I really love what you just said about it's actually, I love our talk because you're allowing this freedom to let it just ride, whatever it is. And the fact, like what you just said, very important, that you can be mad at God or your spirit, your whatever it is for you. I think sometimes we might be afraid to be mad at, the biggest thing, our spiritual connection, because somehow we're not allowed to, because that's, uh, and you know what? This is another thing. Yes, you are allowed to be upset. Yes, you are allowed to be angry and sad, and you are allowed to sit through that discomfort. In fact, if you don't, you're probably short, um can't think of the right word, but you're delaying your ability to heal. So I love that, because, looking back, yeah, I can see a couple parts where I probably would have liked to have given myself a little bit more permission to say, hey, I'm upset here and this isn't correct. And instead of maybe always trying to find the silver lining too quickly, because sometimes that is just putting on a happy face when maybe it's not really cleared. So I do love that. That's very important what you just said, to allow yourself to be mad at whatever you need to be mad at, and then get the help, of course, when you need to, and find a way, get resourceful no matter what. So, and it's interesting, you can have one right person show up in your life and change everything. I know, like for me, I was having an issue with a money block personally, which I never had before. A couple circumstances happened that made me go basically into a money block, and I couldn't even see it. I didn't know I was blocking my own success. I wanted to succeed, but I was getting in my own way. And I honestly, you think you know yourself and you think you can figure it all out, and you're like, hello, I should know myself enough, but trust. There are things you don't know that someone else can help you and see. So I had a coach, and like I said, she caught it immediately, and it felt like, under a couple minutes, and it changed everything for me. It literally was like, oh wow, I didn't even see that. And then it was completely a changed experience. And so I love that your coaching, what you do, can help people get there like that. I mean, just what we've been doing here on this conversation it's obvious the expert skill set that you have to help people where they're at, and each person is individual, right? So, okay, before we get into the questions, just because I love this conversation, just one more time, tell them what your website, if they're just for some reason tuning in, it'll be in the notes, but just in case.
Yeah, you can easily find me at Lainnie, LAINNE.com, and at Lainne Love on social media. I'm
Perfect.
always really, really happy to connect with you.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay. Well, that was, in all honesty, that was the most intense first round of our interview I've ever had. And I loved every minute of it because it's such a universal conversation that can apply to anybody everywhere, no matter what their scenario is, what they're pursuing, or what they're going through. And that's why I think it was very, very informative and foundational. But now, a lot of women need and love the inspired questions because they're building a business and they want to kind of get the feedback from your side. So I'll go through some of the questions and you just tell me what comes to mind. So, what is your number one professional tip for women to grow their businesses?
Be you. And that's such a I know it feels like, well, that's an annoying answer. Be me. I know. And really be you. Going back to that, you are a one of a kind wonder. There are so many of this one thing. There's so many mechanics. There's so many doctors. There's so many teachers. But so what helps that person to get the job? Them, who they are, how they show up, their personality. Sure, you have to have a skill set, right? You're in business with yourself, so obviously you have a skill set in something. You're very knowledgeable in a certain area. So why do people want to choose you? They want to choose you because of who you are. You're compassionate, you're funny, you're resourceful, you're innovative. Like, whoever it is that you are, be you, because the customers that are looking for the really compassionate person aren't going to go for the really funny person. Well, maybe they're going to make a joke about me and I'm not going to feel safe, or whatever that is. And yet they're both amazing and have value, but they're both attracting two very different types of people. There's enough people out there that you can have the right customers for you with your skill set and by being you. So
I
just
love that.
be you.
That's so true. And I think sometimes also, especially when people are younger, it's a shiny object thing to maybe focus on the thing that might make you the most money. And there's nothing wrong with making money. Hello, I'm a money coach. I'm all for that. The more money, the more empowerment you have, and the more people you can help. So money is a good thing to have. But nonetheless, it's a good thing to have when you're in your own beautiful self, who you really are, and that is going to be an expression of you. Like if you're just choosing work because it has the potential to make money, you might last for a little while, but you'll find a way to get out of it because it's not your authentic self. So basically save yourself the time if that's where your head is at right now, where you're just maybe focusing on the dollars and not the soulful of expression of, is that who you really are? Who do you want to be in the world? Who do you want to show up for? How do you want to serve? How do you want to feel good about the work that you're doing? Because if you ask those inner questions first, you can get right to creating your real dream business.
I love that you added that in. Yeah. And even when you're using the tools, like what actually aligns with you? Like, okay, I can do like Facebook ads, I can do Google ads, I can do lives, I can have Facebook groups, I can do all of these different things. Oh yeah, well, this person says I have to do this, so I have to do this. Again, everything works. Everything works. So pick what is alignment with you. What is authentically you, not what this person told you you have to do because this is the only way and this is the way you're going to make money. It's not the only way. There is
No,
no one way. If there was only one way, there would only be one way. That's why there are 20 different ways or 50 different ways, however many different ways, is
that's
because
right.
they all have proof that
Yeah,
this is the path that works, because it all works. It's just
that's
what's
right.
going to work for you is what is authentic and in alignment to you. No, this is who
Yes.
I am. I love Facebook. I
Mhm.
want to do Facebook groups. I want to do Facebook ads. Great.
Yeah,
That's you.
yeah,
Do it.
yeah. Yes, exactly. And that is really also one of the biggest hurdles that I found in the beginning of growing my business was this. It just was so overwhelming because everyone's saying, like you're saying, do this,
Yes.
do TikTok, do YouTube, do Facebook, do Instagram. And you're trying to do it all, you're trying to learn it all, you're trying to understand it all. And somewhere in the middle, you lost the whole understanding of what your
Yeah.
business was even about because you're so busy, trying to duct tape everything together and you're lost in it to the point where you're not really enjoying it. You want to throw your computer at the wall and just
Yes. Been
say, hey,
there.
maybe a
Been
day
there.
job is not such a bad idea
Yeah.
because
Yeah. So
this is
and
for the
that's what I
birds.
learned, to
Yeah.
pick whatever,
Yes.
because I got so lost and then I hated everything because
Yes.
I would start to,
Overwhelm
oh, and
never
I have
feels
to
good.
say this and this way on this thing,
Yeah.
and I have to use these words and it said
Yeah.
this. No,
No.
no.
What
Just
one of the
pick what
yeah,
aligns with you.
that's right. And one of the best books I have ever read that helped me with that because I'm an avid learner. I love to learn, I love to implement, but then there gets to a point where it's just too much, right? But one of the best books, I think it's called The One Focus. Oh my goodness.
There we
Just
go.
make your life easier and pull away the excess.
Yeah.
Just get rid of the excess and focus on what brings you the biggest joy in it, whether it's the platform you use, the business you decide to choose in the first place, the
Yeah.
people you want to surround yourself with. Trust that even just that one focus is going to fill your plate so much
Yeah.
you just master that one focus. And then when it's
Yes.
mastered, you can come back and you can add a little something extra because the last thing you want to do is make your beautiful business that's your baby. You don't want to lose the love that you have for it, so you gotta be aware to not get caught in that trap of shiny object syndrome and all this training and all the systems and all the softwares and all the
Oh man,
everything. And
I did. I lost like 5 years because I kept
yeah,
trying to
it's a
do all of
slippery
the
slope.
things.
Yeah, yeah,
Pick one
yeah.
thing that resonates with you because
Mhm.
they all work. And it's worth repeating because you are
Yes.
hearing a million different people say, no, this is the thing. Stop doing
Yes.
that. They are right.
Yes.
This is the thing. Each thing works. Pick
Yes.
what resonates with you and stick with it for at
That's right.
least a year. Do it for a year.
That exactly, exactly. Do it for a year because
Do it
it's a
for a year.
slippery slope, absolutely a slippery slope. And then you can always say to yourself, if something's really appealing to you, you say, you know what? I'm not going to buy this software today.
Yeah.
But I will buy it next year. And so, like, you don't
Yes.
have to feel it's sort of like a diet. You don't have to ever say you're never going to have chocolate cake again, just not today. So
Exactly.
anyway, I don't know what's going on with me with like food and bodies,
You're making me
exercise.
hungry.
After this interview, we're both going to have to schedule massages, go to the gym, and bake a chocolate cake, right? So, okay. Next question. Do you have a specific morning routine, and what does that look like? And everyone, I love morning routines. I think they're really important. But
Yeah, routines are important in general. So figuring
yeah,
it, so my routines change. Sometimes I'm amazing at them and I stick with them for a long time, and sometimes I'm terrible and I can't seem to grasp onto anything. And I say that because that's reality. That's life. Some people are going to be really amazing at being diligent and disciplined and be able to do it every day, and some people aren't. And either way, it's okay. And
yeah,
I shift accordingly. Like I used to get up at 4:30 and exercise and meditate and then bike to work.
yeah,
And I had this amazing routine that really served me well. And then I didn't.
yeah,
And then I shifted it. So now, what is my morning routine?
yeah.
Now, my morning routine is being slower. I feel like I need
Mm,
less to do. I need this,
Mm-hmm.
like I just need to get up and give myself permission to be in the quiet and to move slowly. And if I feel like I want to listen to something, I listen to one of my teachers.
I love
And
that you said that, because it is true. And again, if people will really listen to this
yeah,
and hear it and maybe listen to it again, I hear you just saying, give yourself permission. You're allowed to change.
yeah,
Just give yourself permission. Whatever, there's a tool for anything you need. Maybe this time you need this tool. Maybe next time you need that tool. Maybe you're at 5 a.m. club. Maybe you're at 11 a.m. club. Just go with yourself and just, I love that, because that permission is very, very important. And I understand exactly what you're saying, because I tried the whole 5 a.m. club and I honestly loved it. I couldn't believe
yeah,
how long the day was. But then I didn't love it because I needed a proper amount of sleep. And that meant I had to go to bed at 9:30 basically. And I'm
yeah.
like, I like to eat dinner at 7:38. And so I felt like, okay, I eat dinner, go to bed. No, that just wasn't working for me. So even though there were benefits for it for me, big picture of it,
Yes. Again, it's be you.
yeah, but
Be
I
you.
still, I'd like to sleep longer, but well, my sweet husband wakes up at 5 and brings me coffee, and then I like to chit chat. So that's a nice thing too. But before it was like exercise, do all the things.
Yeah.
But what you just said about slow mornings, the older I get, I'm like, yes, I just want to just relish in this beautiful new day and start in that happy place. So yeah, I love that.
So
Permission
play
to
with
be
it.
you, and
Yeah.
it changes. Yes.
Play with
Okay.
it. But a caveat to that is find something. Because if you're just like willy-nilly every morning, like
Yes.
chaos every morning, not knowing what it is that you should be doing and hitting the
That's
alarm
different.
last minute and popping out of bed, that doesn't work either. It's just
No.
when you're looking at your routine, look at, am I in a phase of productivity or am I
Yeah.
in a phase of stillness? It means I still have to get
Restoration.
up. I
Yeah.
still have to do these things.
Yes.
I still have to move my day forward with
Yeah.
purpose and with
Absolutely.
intention. It's just, is it going to be more active or is it more passive? So
Yes.
don't
Yes.
go without a routine. It's just
That's right.
to listen to what it is, what season you're in right now.
Yes. Yeah. It's funny you say that, because I had a little test that I did on myself quite a while back. And I was curious because I was, very structured with, okay, this will happen at 7, that will happen at 8, and this is at 8:30. I mean, really, and that's great.
That's
I
great.
kind of like that too, because I like checking things off. But then I was just curious because I also move with inspiration. When inspiration hits, I just go for it, and I can sit myself down in front of my computer, let's say for 14 hours, and be totally joyful, right? Like, it's not all the time, but it can happen. And so I
Yes.
was just curious, like, if I allow, I forget how long it was, a couple weeks or something, I said, I'm just going to not have a schedule, allow it. And this is the benefits of being an entrepreneur. Of course, I showed up for my appointments.
Mhm.
That's not to be even, that's just a definite. But the other free space, right, that I didn't structure, it was very curious to see if I was just going to be, so-called couch potato, or if I was going to still be able to actually achieve goals naturally in an inspired way without my day book telling me what I have to do. And here's what I want to basically tell everybody. You It is innate in you to want to progress. It's to reach your higher potential. So whether you have a date book that you live by, or you just get on your meditation mat and say, what do I feel inspired to do today? Well, at least for me, I was still super productive, and I still accomplished good things that made me feel great. And it was kind of a cool little test to just see. And they both work. And again, this is here kind of what you're saying. Give yourself permission to be whatever season you're in, right? Maybe that's a season, that you need to be in, or you need to be having the alarms go off on your phone to remind you to, get
Yeah.
up and do your daily walk or something, right? But
And in that
yeah,
season too. Yeah. But
yeah.
either
But
way, the common denominator is you are moving through your day with purpose and intention.
yes, and but it comes naturally. It's kind of like
Yeah.
what I was leading to. Like, you don't have to like remind yourself, and pat yourself. You have potential. You have to make progress. You get going. You just naturally will, because
Yes.
it's your human expression. That's what we're here for. We want to continuously make progress in some way. So I found that pretty cool. Like it's okay. Yeah, I didn't turn into a couch potato. Maybe every once in a while, but okay. Let's see. Da, 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 da. Okay, two last questions. What is your favorite part about being an entrepreneur?
Oh gosh, I'm like everything. I mean, now
Yeah,
I can really say that. Like, one, I think I just was born with that blueprint. Like, I I need to have my own creation because that's what's in resonance with me. It's not better than, it's just that's what's in resonance with
you.
me.
Right,
Um,
exactly.
and I like all of the things, even the challenges, because I've moved to that space where I definitely acknowledge challenges and obstacles as yay.
Yeah, yeah,
I get to work on the next thing that's going
yeah,
to help me to round out and polish up this
yeah.
thing I call a business. I can see, like, what are the next steps? What do I get to work on? Where do I need to improve? What am I clearing?
Yes.
So I like having that freedom of creativity and expression. Sometimes what I don't like is not leaving the house as much because I work from home. So I miss leaving the house and interacting with other people.
I have a solution. I do this for myself because I'm in the same scenario. Many of us,
Yeah.
women entrepreneurs, are doing the same thing. I go and take myself out to lunch a couple times a week just so I can, talk with this, people,
Yeah.
just say hello or have a cup of coffee. Just walk around, watch people go in and out of stores, just to be. And it's so important. You definitely need to get out of the house, no matter what, a little bit. That's just it'll keep you a little bit more sane.
I take
But
classes. I take classes.
yes,
So, like,
yes,
I
exactly.
will take, so I can work on developing skills and then meet
Yes,
people in a like-minded
that's
environment.
right. I love that.
That's my solution to that. And I do still miss that element, and that's okay. I don't miss
Yeah,
it so much that I'd like to go back to that, but
yes.
it is in my awareness. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And then you do what you need to do to fulfill that, bring yourself a more balanced life and joyfulness. So absolutely agree with that. Okay, well, you kind of answered the last question with this question, but if you have anything to add, how would you describe your formula for success?
Success is really individual.
Mm,
Again, going back to like what your dream is and what's your blueprint and why are you here. And success for some people might be having 8 kids and a farm and $1 million business. Success for somebody else might be having 10 cats and a tiny apartment and $30,000 a year
yeah,
income. I mean, the whole spectrum is there, and how wonderful is that?
it
That
is.
success is so different for everybody. But success for me, is feeling at peace within myself. And I didn't know that that was success for me. It's one of those, you don't know what you don't know. I thought, I mean, success is also external markers to me, like having like written the books that I've written, because those were things on my list of I get to do this
Yes.
before I pass.
Yeah. Leave your
What will I
legacy.
regret?
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I think about. Like, what if today was my last day? If tomorrow was my last day, what would I regret? That's how I like to think about like success, because I still have a hard time in that, well, if I haven't achieved this yet, then I don't have success. If I don't have this yet, then I don't have success. But actually, if I use my own, take my own advice and say, well, if I was to die today, would I have any regrets? No. Would I be sad that I still didn't get to have some experiences that I want to have? Yes. But would I have any regrets? No. So I'm doing the right steps that I need to take for my life, and my feeling of fulfillment, I guess, is more what I would use
Yeah.
instead of success.
And that kind of circles right back to the very beginning of our interview and why I wanted to get into that in a deep way, because that is so foundational to really, find your blocks, find your authentic self, find your joy, narrow it down to what brings you happiness and is a benefit to others, because
Yeah.
then you everything going forward is this peace that you talk about, because you walk in peace, knowing, even though you're growing along the way and having challenges along the way, but basically if you do that inner work first and you allow yourself to be you, like you mentioned, be you,
Yeah.
and get through the blocks, go through the discomfort, then what you get to, the gift of that is you get to walk your life in this peaceful, positioned way that is your particular beautiful self and what you're meant to do in this world, and how you're meant to serve. And yeah, and that's why that beginning portion is so good. Okay, one more time, where can they find you? Because wow, this is a great interview and so beautifully soulful and helpful. So I love this.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. And
My
it's
pleasure.
again Lainnie, LAINNE.com, and Lainne Love on social media. And I hadn't mentioned it yet, but you can find my books, How to Use Hypnosis to Master Your Brain and A Bigger Mission, on Amazon.
I love it. Well, did I tell you that this interview is going to be so deep and thoughtful and soulful? And it is just such a beautiful way to check in with yourself, and give yourself all the allowances you need, and to trust that you are going forward and you are making progress, and that you're allowed to do it your way and get to know yourself better and strengthen the best parts of yourself. And if there's some parts that need some work, just sit in the discomfort until you figure it out. And definitely reach out to Lainnie, because she's got a gigantic toolbox with all the tools. No matter what you might need, she can help you make your journey just go that much more smoothly. So thank you so much for being here. What a beautiful interview. I feel so rejuvenated after it as well. So thank you, Lainnie. Thank you. And until next time, you just keep going for your dreams, go through the discomfort, and know that you are on the right track when you're being authentically you. And until then, see you next time. Bye for now. Okay, let me turn this off.